Hello, this is Tammy Pie, and we're gonna do a video about extra cards. This is a VR to somebody, but I forget who, and I can't find a hashtag, so we're just gonna go for it. So this is all about like those extra cards that some creators put in their decks, and some people use them, some people don't. This is the Crystal Unicorn Tarot by Pamela Chen in this fabulous matching bag by Moonlit Faye. And the extra card is actually in the design of the bag, which is cool. So this has been edged in this weird way that I like to do because it blends with the backs. But the extra card is Don't Worry. And Don't Worry is basically a spell card, but it also kind of elicits that, don't worry about it. And this deck, this whole deck is really a Rider-Waite-Smith clone, but it is a joyous experience. It's very subtle pastel colors, very summer deck or spring, and it just makes me happy. All the little unicorns with their little hooves and the crystals on their butts is just so sweet and delightful. So that is the Crystal Unicorn Tarot, and the one extra card is Don't Worry. And I don't know if you can still get that card or not. It was kind of a special thing that I got at the Newts. This is the first edition of Monstero. There are the backs, and Monstero has since Joanna Nelson has since put out like a pocket edition and a couple other editions, but I am bonded to this deck and I love this edition. And the extra card for this one is one that, again, that was sold separately, and this is the Illuminator, and it is a metal card. There is an Illuminator in the actual deck, but this one you can kind of prop it up on your crystals or whatever, and in candlelight it's really, really cool. Let me see if I can find the regular Illuminator. It would have been nice if I had done this beforehand. Let me see. Are you in here? Watch it be in one of the stacks that I already put down, because that's the way. Oh, here it is. So that's the one that came with the deck, and I think most of her decks come with like a little extra, but this one was a special purchase that she did, and totally worth it. In the candlelight, it's an amazing thing. And actually I keep this out most of the time on my altar. So next, let's talk about Danilov. Really, there's only one extra card in Danilov, which is the And this came in the first and second editions. I don't know if he does this anymore, but this is a curtain card. And I put this out whenever I'm reading with Danilov because you have to open the curtain to start the show. And the minors are all, they have kind of pins in the artwork. So you can see that they are paper puppets, which I think is interesting. Even this guy has pins in his arms. And the Five of Pentacles. But also, Alexander Daniloff is the first guy to do an extra, or the first one I noticed, an extra strength and an extra justice so that you can put them wherever they are convenient for your readings. My extra strength is somewhere in a book because I use it as a bookmark, but the extra justice I put here on the inside of the box. So that's Daniloff. The Raziel Tarot by Robert and Place. It's another hard to get out of print deck with a book by Rachel Pollack. This has a lot of Abrahamic myth in it. In fact, it's entirely based on Abrahamic myth. And it is a majors only deck, one of two that I've kept. And I gotta remember to do this so you can see it. The artwork is very Robert and Place. It is, like I say, based on Abrahamic myth and set into the major arcana. But we also have the Tree of Knowledge, which of course was the downfall of Adam and Eve. They would have lived forever, but once they knew, then they ended up here. I'll read the thing in here. Let's see where it is. From every fruit in the garden you may surely eat, but from the tree of knowledge, good and evil, you shall not eat. For on the day that you eat from it, you are doomed to die. Genesis 2:16 through 18. So, and then the other extra card is the Tree of Life, which is interesting because he pictures the Sephiroth, but he also pictures Doth, which is a whole nother Sephiroth that people don't usually talk about. Let's see. The Kabbalists call this an uncreated Sephirah, the potential energy that could bridge the gap between the triangle at the top of the tree and the seven below it. The name they give it is Doth. It is the same as the forbidden tree, knowledge. To me, the secret Sephirah Doth appears like an opening between worlds, and it lies hidden inside the tree of life. Knowledge hidden inside life. So that's freaking rad. This book is a treasure of mine. I adore it. And that is the Raziel Tarot by Robert M. Place, and because of the book, Rachel Pollack. So next we have Tarot of the Abyss by Tourian, and it's the black and white deck, edged in blacks, whites, and grays. And Anna, I'll do that, gave us not only just a really beautiful way of looking at RWS Tarot with a bit of change. She also offered an extra 3 of Swords, so that rather than sorrow or heartbreak, it means learning, and an extra 10 of Swords, so that instead of a death or the end of an ego, it can mean the fulfillment of knowledge. Now, I went with the regular 3, but I do enjoy that 10. So that's how I keep this deck and its extra cards. So that is Tarot of the Abyss by Tourian. Then we have, let's go with Tabio Mundi. Now, really, the extra card here is an extra lust card, and I like the Babylon, the beast with the 7 heads, so that's the one I keep in the deck. But she has this other lust, knee strength card. Also, we have the Tree of Life card. And you can get an expansion pack which has decking cards, which they're not really extra cards in this deck, but they do fit in the box, and they do go with this deck because the deck shows the decans. This is the current decan we're in. The Chariot is the Cancer card. The Empress is the Virgo card. Where am I? I have to take down my decking cards because my camera will just show them. And of course I can't find it. Okay. But the decking cards show the major and minor, how they all come together, which they do. Okay. So how do I get all this back in here? So that is Tabula Mundi. Let's look at Moonchild, because there aren't very many extra cards in here, but they're good extra cards. They're interesting extra cards. So this is kind of a, it's kind of a collage. It's computer collage, right? Digital collage. And this was the first Danielle Noelle deck that I got, the Moonchild Tarot. And I really like the kind of Egyptian, kind of sun-baked feel of this deck. The cards are kind of hard to shuffle because it's heavy, heavy cardstock. but the imagery is really cool. And the extra cards that she puts in here, Justice, okay, are the Moonchild, which is the name of the deck, Shadow Work, which can be useful. And I would use this more as kind of you know, when you put a card in and then shuffle and then look for the card and the cards on either side of it and use it like that. I would use it like that. Or Divine Wisdom. And I kind of like Divine Wisdom. I usually keep this in the deck when I'm using it, because I think it just means something completely different than other cards do. I don't think of the Hierophant as Divine Wisdom, and so it's just different. So that's nice. Okay, let's see. Next, let's look at, okay, so I used this in last night's video, but let's take a closer look at Eros, the Garden of Love by Uusi. So they put moon cards in their decks, their tarot decks, which I love. I love the moon cards. They're so friendly and happy and moony. And you can, you know, set that up, or you can, you know, put meanings in your moon cards and use them like that. Or you can use one as a significator. For me, the full moon is always a difficult time. So if I'm having a hard time and I'm doing a reading to figure out kind of what's going on in my head, I might use the full moon card. If I'm starting like a new project or something like that, I really love the new moon time. So I might use the new moon in at that time. So that is Eros in the Garden of Love by Uusi. And their extra cards are moon cards. You know, do we use them? Not always. Do we put them on our altar? Why not? I love that they have like little things inside the box. And this one came with the seal broken already, which is kind of a bummer. All right, another one I talked about yesterday, again in this magnificent matching Moonlit Faye bag, is the Playful Heart Tarot by Zara Kittenchops. And love this deck. Love this Justice with the scale at her heart. Here's the card I was talking about yesterday with all the cool kind of people and stuff at the bottom of the cup. It's just very deep, very clever illustration that is more than your average deck. You just have to give it a minute. Look at that, the Five of Swords. And her extra cards are, now I have these mixed up, so I don't totally remember which one came with it. I know the Yes card came with it. Probably the Embrace Your Inner Child. You are free. Let it go, and things are easier than you thought. And then there's an expansion pack that has Explore Your True Abundance, Trust Life, Wow, you got it. Accept all of you. Express your joy. I mean, she's just and I've met Zara, and she is just like this deck in person. This person is definitely has expressed herself in her artwork. Okay, next. Let's talk about a Lenormand, because it's sitting here. It's the next one. This is Jess Roller. This is the Strange Lenormand. And she just included a whole bunch of extra cards. Okay, so here's your basic Lenormand, which they're far from basic, right? This is, what do they call them? The monsters that might be real. I forget, but like, starts with C, crispids or something like that. Anyway, so with the Lenormand deck, in case you're unaware, you have a man and a woman, usually. That's the traditional way to do it. A lot of Lenormand decks now are giving us an extra man and woman. But Jess did this in such a beautiful, magnificent way. Woman, woman, woman. And then she put at the end of the deck, cat, person, alien, another person, and partner, which is a fly. So I think those are just awesome. They're awesome. And depending on who you're reading for, you can, you know, pick a set of cards. Whatever you want to put in there, you can add in. And I kind of dig that. All right. Then we have I Am the Artist Tarot. This is Monica Sakki-Sakki's latest creation. And she added in the artist, of course, the visionary, the observer, the inner muse, and this is the unmade card, which I think is very interesting. So as a painter, all these are important moments in an artistic creation. You have to see to draw things. You have to have vision to create something new. You need an inner muse. Your inner muse has to speak to you to get it down, to begin. And this unmade is just very interesting. It's like the inside of an artist's head when they are about to embark on a creative vision. So I'll just flip through a few more of these cards. They're all very kind of busy. This has the feeling of a Klimt painting, but also full of little extra bits and pieces that are absolutely tarot and absolutely artistic. And this is very joyous and very juicy, and I really enjoy it. Okay, so in the book she discusses how the unmade and death are similar cards, but this one is healthier. This one is where your artist's vision is starting to come to life. So it's a healthy artist. And I keep that one in the deck. Okay. I Am the Artist Tarot by Monica Sakki-Sakki. Next I have, am I done? Is this the end? This is the end. So this is the Crimson Asteria. Okay. And she calls herself Pranic Forest. I forget what her actual name is, but Pranic Forest is her company. She makes perfumes. And this deck, I kickstarted it, and the Kickstarter people got a perfume, and the perfume smells incredible. So here's some of the artwork. And again, it's Rider-Waite-Smith based, but her process is a little different, and her artwork is really different. This is one of those decks that people love or hate, and I love it. And there's one of the extra cards, Medusa. I didn't even take her out because she is so easy to find because she's gold. The ones that I do keep in, besides Medusa, are Hope, Meleen, and Asteria. And I keep Asteria in because this is the Crimson Asteria. I gotta have it. Meleen is interesting because this is another situation where the gods turned her into half a snake. And so it's like an injustice justice thing. But then we have Hope. And we gotta have hope, right? So it's different. But it's almost like we have 3-star cards, but that's cool with me. The other ones that she added in are Wisdom, Sol et Luna, and Equilibrium. So these ones are a little different because they have blue in them. And, you know, I might add them in at some point, but I don't usually keep those in. So those are my extra cards. And I wish I knew what the hashtag was, but I don't. I'll just title this extra cards and how I use them. So thank you for coming.